Hello everyone and welcome to this new episode of our Sartorial Talks. Today, as promised, we're going to continue the journey inside my personal wardrobe, the journey inside 27 bespoke suits that are composing my wardrobe today and took me more than 12 years to build step by step from 2007 to 2019. Today we are at suit number 7, and we're going to review 7 suits from number 7 to number 13 from kind of a crave of double-breasted that suddenly took me, then to a crave for summer suit, and then to finish with some semi-formal attire. Let's move now to my suit number 7. And this suit number 7, as well as suit number 8, as well as suit number 9, will mark, I would say, a milestone in my wardrobe. You know that I have an immoderate love for double-breasted, and I've been probably among the greatest and the greatest supporters in the Sartorial community of the double-breasted suit. So many people wrote to me that they tried double-breasted after having seen a picture of me wearing a double-breasted. But this suit number 7 is not your usual or classic double-breasted. It's the first double-breasted suit I did with Lorenzo Cifonelli when he was trying to implement his new cut on double-breasted, and it's a 6-on-1. So you remember, I explained this to you in a former episode of Sartorial Talks. There's two main figures in the double-breasted arena. The classic one, which is 6-on-2, that is to say 6 buttons with 2 active. And the second classic figure is what we call the 6-on-1, that is to say 6 buttons, but only 1 functioning. The main difference between the 6-on-2 and the 6-on-1 is easy to understand. The 6-on-2, as you can button 2 buttons, the buttoning height is a little bit higher, and the 6-on-1 is a little bit lower. You can find them mainly in Italian Sartorial. They love this very low buttoning 6-on-1. It's like for them much more interesting from a style point of view. But the thing is that at Cifonelli, the 6-on-1 who became, since that, his signature double-breasted, a worldwide famous double-breasted, is that the last line of buttoning, so the only line on buttoning on 6-on-1, is positioned a little bit higher than a normal 6-on-1 Italian suit. And so I don't know if I was the first, I was among the first, or probably I was the first to popularize and to wear this Cifonelli 6-on-1 suit and to show it on my blog, on the social network, to show it to the world. And it became, as far as I know, something which is kind of iconic now at Cifonelli. So the first of my series, because believe it or not, I became so addicted with this 6-on-1 design that I made 3 double-breasted on that model in a row. And that was not the best decision of my life, because honestly, I desperately needed to have a good summer suit. And I was sweating like a dog everywhere, but I didn't care. I wanted to wear my double-breasted 6-on-1 from Cifonelli, and the first I did was with a draper's end-on-end fabric, very classical, light gray, that you can see on this picture. This is one of the suits I've been wearing the most probably in my life, maybe after the next one that I've been wearing probably the most of all time. But this one was my first experience on a 6-on-1, and I still wear it, and I love this impression of this line of buttoning, which is a little bit higher. This is, for me, this has become almost the signature of the new era of tailoring in Paris. So that's number 7. Number 8, I already told you, was the exact same pattern, exact same design with these massive superlative lapels, slightly rounded, not exactly straight, the lapels that are going, it covers all the chest but slightly rounded. For this one, I decided to do the exact same as number 7, but with blue wool and kid mohair by Vitale Barberis Canonico. And this is probably the suit I've been wearing the most. in my whole life, because this suit was so versatile, so elegant, and it became not only the signature model of Cifonelli, but also my signature model, because my suit number 9, believe it or not, you see, when something is really catching your attention, you want to push it as far as you can. And this is what is joyful in the Sartorial learning curve. Even if I admit and I confess easily that I should have done a summer suit somewhere between the 6th and the 9th, I was so obsessed and so joyful with this double-breasted. I felt so elegant and so like myself inside this suit that I decided to do 3 in a row. And the third one was made with a little bit different kind of fabric, because the 2 first were a plain fabric, and on end for one and blue for the other one. But I decided for a more, probably the first very strong pattern in my wardrobe, because I was always quite muted with my pattern, kind of discreet, because the only really pattern suit I have was the Hundstut. It was suit number 3, but now I decided to go a little bit further, and I choose what we call, it's not exactly a Prince of Wales, I would say it's rather a Glen plaid. It's from the bunch Blazon, very famous bunch, Super 140 from Drapers in Bologna, but with a very, very, very blue line, very marked, very present blue line. So it's not as muted as my first Prince of Wales. It's a Glen plaid pattern, but with a very, very strong blue line. And this is probably one of my first suits who have a real pattern. It's not a window pane, even if on some photo it can look like a window pane. It's still a Glen plaid, so a Prince of Wales, but with a blue line which is very strong in the pattern. So, can you believe that I did suit number 7, suit number 8, and suit number 9 were exactly the same. Only I changed fabric. I admit I've been a little bit too far, even if I adore all of them, and specifically the last one, which was my first brown suit. I've been hesitating a lot about that, but that was my first brown suit, and honestly, brown is also a color to consider in your suit, because it's kind of underrated, and it's difficult to fight against the monsters, which are the gray and the blue, but brown can be a very interesting color as well. At last, with suit number 10, I came back to reason. And for the first time in my life, I decided to do a real summer suit. After having sweating so many times under heavy and warm conditions with my other suit, I decided that this time it was over. I wanted something really light that can be worn in very hot climates. Because I wanted to wear it for the summer Petit Uomo of 2013, if I remember well. The problem is that I decided this, we were, I would say probably in April or in May. So that is to say, it was impossible for me to get that suit made by Lorenzo Cifonelli or any bespoke tailor, because the usual delay of a bespoke suit is between, I would say, 4 to 6 months, with 3 to 4 fittings before taking delivery of the suit. So it was just impossible in terms of timing. So this is why, for the first time, and also since a few years, I was very intrigued by the high-level Italian Sartorial who were doing make-to-measure like Chiton, Cesarea Torini, and another one that I tried for this summer suit is called Santandrea. Santandrea is located in Fano, on the Adriatic coast of Italy, and is a fantastic sartoria where almost everything and the great number of operations are handmade. My suit has been totally and fully handmade, and these people are extremely well known in the world of high-level tailoring and high-level garments, because they craft under the name Santandrea's for many of the most famous brands in the world. Anyway, since a few years, they've been developing their own brand. So from Santandrea's, this is where under the name Santandrea they produce for others. They have now their own name called Santandrea, which is the translation in Italian of Santandrea's. And it's located in Fano, and they have a showroom in Milano. And they do superlative suits. And they did for me summer suit with a fantastic fabric. It is a Super 170 by Loro Piana with a blue, fantastic blue. It's kind of difficult. I will show you some pictures, but it's difficult to describe because this blue is reacting under the sun very positively. And I had many compliments about the color of this suit, which is absolutely outstanding. The great difference between made-to-measure at Santandrea and bespoke at Cifonelli was I was able to make this suit in 3 or 4 weeks instead of 5 months. So I've been able, for the first time in my life, to wear a proper summer suit during summer. And believe me, I enjoyed it tremendously. This suit is beautiful. It's a classic double-breasted 6-on-2 with this superlative fabric. I'm very happy with it, and it's something that you may consider. You will see that the price difference between real bespoke artisan and this kind of Sartorial is, well, not that important. It's pretty much the same price bracket. Maybe the bespoke tailors can be a little bit more expensive. But the reason why it's more quick to have this kind of suit made is that the organization of the work in this Sartorial, like Chiton, Cesare Attolini, Santandrea, Belvest is also the same, close to Padova, and Isaia also in Naples, is that instead of having 1 or 2 tailors in a bespoke tailoring house doing your suit, making your suit, crafting your suit from A to Z, the workflow in this Sartorial has been divided in let's say 25 different operations, and with people specialized in 1 or 2 gestures. So at Santandrea Milano, the people who are doing, for example, the buttonhole, they do buttonholes. The people who are doing pockets, they are doing only pockets. So it means that instead of having somebody or maybe 2 people doing a suit for you in a bespoke, traditional bespoke atelier in 60 hours, they were able to reduce the time of production to 25 hours. It's still extremely well done. This is still handmade suit. This is made to measure. The difference, it is not made by only 1 or 2 tailors, by a team of tailors. And that's the organization I tested. And I must admit, I was quite impressed by the result. The next suit I decided, I was so impressed and so caught and so happy to have at last a proper summer suit. Guess what? I decided to do another summer suit. That was kind of an unreasonable decision, but it will pay off later because it was the end of the summer, and I decided to, nevertheless, to prepare the next summer with a proper summer suit. And for that, I decided to go bespoke with one of the most, probably one, if not the most underrated bespoke tailor, master bespoke tailor in the world, my friend Gianni Celeghin, whose Sartorial is located in Legnano, 50 kilometers, like 30 miles from Milan, in the large suburb of Milan, Legnano. You can find him in my book, The Italian Gentleman. Gianni Celeghin is probably one of the most underrated master tailors in the world. He's a genius. Well, it's difficult to know his age. His age is in his mid-80s. So, and he has nobody after him. He's working with his daughter and his wife, but his daughter is just doing the buttonhole and the pockets. She's not a tailor. And I'm afraid that the art of this great man will disappear. So if you want to have a great bespoke suit by Gianni Celeghin, let me tell you that the value is just incredible. It's probably the best value on the market for real bespoke. You should hurry up, because it will probably work another 2-3 years, and already with my book and with the light we put on him through the books and through different occasions. I had to say his name because I consider him among the top league, to be among the top league of tailors. He has a lot of work, and the last time I spoke to him, he said, well, Hugo, I do what I can, meaning I have so much work that I do what I can. So if you want a suit by him, you'd better hurry up. What I did was in 2014 with him was a bespoke suit with can become quite famous because it's not the most discreet suit I have in my wardrobe. It was in electric blue, literally electric blue, very simple, one button, single-breasted with peak lapel, as you can see on the pictures, with a fantastic Super 160 fabric from the bunch Green Hills, which is the top of the line of Vitale Barberis Canonico in Biella. And this suit, of course, it's not wearable everywhere. Of course, it's not wearable in any condition because it's clearly a suit, extremely light suit for summer, and the color is extremely strong. But I adore wearing this suit, and I still adore it. By the way, I have another project with Gianni Celeghin going on, but I will talk about it a little bit later. That's suit number 11. Now we move to suit number 12. And for that, I decided not to do a suit, but to do a second sport jacket, because there was something, one staple that was totally missing in my wardrobe, was a sport jacket with a kind of a tweed feeling. That is to say, with a kind of a countryside, relaxed, casual, gentleman farmer, you know, this kind of jacket that you can wear in many occasions. And once again, I worked on that jacket with my friend Domenico Lolli at Drappers, and we chose together some kind of a heavy wool that looked like, had a kind of a tweedish feel. And I did this sport jacket, which was a 3-roll-2. So I don't know if you're comfortable with this idea, 3-roll-2, that is to say 3 buttonholes, but only 2 functioning because the third one is hidden in the roll. It's very Napolitan, although the Sartorial I worked with and the tailor I worked with for this specific jacket is located in Milan. It's a nice small salon called NH Sartorial, which tailor is hailing from Puglia, and I think the atelier is still in Puglia, and it's a very interesting small Sartorial in the center of Milan. So I did this sport jacket, 3-roll-2, which was something that was missing. It's not the jacket I wear the most because it's not exactly my style, but I wanted to have this kind of jacket for a kind of a countryside look that you can wear with flannel trousers or any kind of trouser, even a beautiful jean. It works perfectly. It's a very relaxed, still very elegant jacket. And then number 13. We already reached number 13. It's been quite a journey, right? We are now in 2015. So once again, you can say, oh, Hugo has a lot of suit, and 13 suit from 2007 to 2015. So you understand that these, you can say, okay, Hugo has a massive wardrobe, is very privileged, it's very, very lucky to have all these bespoke suits. And well, it's only 13 suits in 8 years. That is to say, less than 2 suits per year, 1.5 suits per year. So you understand that the sartorial approach, the sartorial path, don't have to be massive in terms of numbers. You can take your time. This is what I did. And guess what I did as a 13th, sorry, it's difficult for me to say in English, suit. I did at last my first tuxedo, or my first black tie, or whatever you call it, my first semi-formal suit. And to do so, I went back to my original tailor, and the tailor who crafted 3/4 of my wardrobe is Cifonelli in Paris, because I wanted to have my bespoke smoking, double-breasted, made for the book signing event of my first book, The Parisian Gentleman, which took place on the Avenue des Champs-Élysées at the Maison Guerlain, one of the most beautiful buildings of the Champs-Élysées, in October 2015. That was a very strange date for me because this book signing happened 11 days after the massive terrorist attack we had in Paris, who killed more than almost 140 people. And we've been hesitating with Maison Guerlain so many times to say, do we maintain this book signing? We have something like we were, expecting 400 guests. And that was kind of a big event on the Champs-Élysées. And or do we postpone because of the situation with the terrorists and all this emergency problem that we have in France? And we decided, under the pressure, under the demands of our public and our fans and our followers, not to postpone this event. And the Maison Guerlain was really great for that. So we did it 11 days after the Bataclan massacre in Paris. And guess what? More than 600 people showed up. It was a very emotional night because it showed us that not only we were not going to change our way of life for a few stupid and ignorant criminals. They want to put on our city a kind of feeling of fear and a feeling of terror. But we were standing firm, be loyal to what we are and the lifestyle we want to develop, and mainly for freedom. So I was so happy to see, at one moment we even had a problem because Guerlain had to close the shop on the Champs-Élysées because there were too many people inside. I think we reached a moment where there were more than 650 people inside. So that was a great event for me, and for that I could not have a proper bespoke smoking, a proper bespoke tuxedo. And as you can see, this tuxedo is beautiful. It's been made according to the gospel of Tuxedo, that is to say, with carved buttons and with some silk on the lapels, extremely classic, but crafted with maestria, with a lot of flair by Lorenzo Cifonelli and his team, of course. For this very specific suit, I used a midnight blue. On the picture it looks like black, but in fact it's not exactly black. It's midnight blue, it's very close to black. But I prefer the midnight blue because under different lighting environment it can look a little bit different. And the clothes was from Vitale Barberi's Canonico. It's a baratea, which is often used for that, which is a beautiful, fantastic piece of fabric for a good semi-formal attire. That was suit number 13. So you understand that I had to wait until number 10 to go to a summer suit, and then I did another one in 11, and I had to wait until number 13 to have a formal suit. Honestly, between you and me, if I would have to do it again, I would do a summer suit and also a formal suit a little bit earlier in my sartorial pass. But I'm still very happy with what I have. So we just finished this second part of this journey in my wardrobe with suit number 13, and I give you an appointment for the next step. We're going to start from my suit number 14 of my wardrobe. And meanwhile, cheers.
Mm-hmm.